All right, so for lesson 7.1 today, we are going to be working with measuring capacities. And in order for us to do that, we're going to be doing some conversions. So when we're talking about capacity, we're talking about things that you can use to measure. When I think about things like pints and cups and quarts and gallons and half gallons, we think of liquids. Typically, we'll think of things like that, like in recipes, things like that. So there is something that we call Gallon Man, or you can use this right here. This is a picture representation of how to do your conversions. So if I look here, I have a big letter G. You can see that is my big letter G right here. This, okay? That G stands for a gallon, okay? So if I want to know how many pints are in a gallon or how many quarts are in a gallon, I can use this picture representation to help me know that. So I know that Q stands for quarts. I know that P stands for pints and C stands for cups. So as I'm looking at this picture is going to help me know this. So in 1 gallon, I have 4 quarts. In 1 gallon, I have 2, 4, 6, 8 pints. So you're counting the letters. In 1 gallon, I have 16 cups, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, so I can do that. I can also tell you, though, that in 1 quart, I have 2 pints. In 1 quart, I have 4 cups. In 1 pint, I have 2 cups. So I can do those conversions as well by looking and seeing what letters are inside of it. Okay. So as I'm looking here, let me help you figure out some of these different measurement conversions. 1 pint is how many cups? So I'm looking for pints and cups. So that's my P's and the C's. So here's 1 pint, 1 letter P. There are 2 C's in it. So that means 2 cups. Now I'm looking at quart and pints, the Q and the P. So here's my quart. There are 2 P's inside of it. So that means 2 pints are in 1 quart. Now, I'm going to skip this one for just a second, and I'm going to come down here. 1 gallon, so inside my G, how many quarts? There are 4 Q's, so that's 4 quarts. So if I want to do half of the gallon, I would split my gallon in half, 2 on top, 2 on bottom. So in half of a gallon on one side, how many quarts do I have? 2 Q's, 1, 2. So that would give me my 2 quarts as opposed to the 4 quarts for the whole gallon. You can use this to help you when you are doing your work as well. So let's look here, and here's that picture again. So as we're looking to do this, you're going to be completing these tables for your assignment today. So let me show you, for example, A. So pay attention first to what are my 2 units that I'm converting. I'm doing pints to cups. So that's the P's to the C's. Okay. So for 1 pint, that's 2 cups. So that's something to think about. So every time I'm going from pints to cups, I'm going to multiply times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 2 is 10. And for this one, I'm going backwards. So instead of doing times 2, I'm going to do the opposite, which would be divided by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And let's check that. If I do 8 times 2, does that get me 16? Yes. You could also come over here and use your picture. So if I'm looking at the P's, if I have 2 P's, let's count how many C's I have inside of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 P's, 4 C's. That's 4 cups. So you can use this to do your conversions and know that if you are going backwards, that instead of multiplying, you would be dividing. So let's look at this one. If I'm going from quarts to pints, here's 1 quart. And how many pints is inside 1 quart? 2. So 2 pints. So again, I'm going to be doing times 2 for all of these. Let's look at gallons and quarts. 1 gallon is how many quarts? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 quarts. So I'm going to be doing all of these times 4. Except obviously if you're going here, you would be dividing by 4. Now let's look at quarts and cups. 1 quart. Let's look at my cue. How many cups are in there? 1, 2, 3, 4 is 4 cups. So again, I would be doing all of these times 4. 1 times 4, 3 times 4, 5 times 4, and that's going to get you your answers. Use this to help you with your conversions.